Are we naturally disorganized as abantu abamnyama noma kuyasihlula ukuphatha? Because it doesn't make sense to me the way that this country is run and the way that we run things when we are in charge. There is something wrong with how we think when we run things when we are in charge that does not make sense to me njengomuntu omnyama. You cannot tell me ukuthi as a government after 20 years sihlulwa izinto ezifana nokuprovide ugesi, to clean the streets, to deal with crime, to deal with basic things, and we are still after 20 years blaming abelungu during apartheid. Now, as someone who was a student of the struggle, as someone who studied the history of the apartheid regime and what it did to abantu abamnyama and how it separated us and how it changed how we think about ourselves, I can tell you ukuthi the apartheid system did a very good job to teach us ukuthi we are worthless. But we cannot still keep blaming a system that faded 20 years ago on a government that has got political power. Angikhulumi nge-economic power. Economic power, I'm not ignorant about that, ukuthi asiyitholanga, based on the decisions that were made in 1994. Loko singakhuluma in another video. But political power gives us the opportunity to legislate, to make decisions that are going to put us first. Ama-decisions esiwenzayo bafethu in government and at government level njengabantu abamnyama are so disappointing. They are so ziyaphoxa iy'nqumo esiyithathayo. For instance, I don't understand ukuthi yini i-role Department of Arts and Culture njengamanje. The Department of Arts and Culture is one of the most worst run or led institutions in the whole of South Africa. It doesn't make sense. The way that it is so disorganized, I understand ukuthi i-arts and sports and culture ihlangana kanjani, and who made the decision to organize that institution to make those three things as one. Because you can ask anyone who sebenza kuleyo field, you can ask anyone who works in television, in music, in radio, who's a television personality, anyone who is in the arts, they will tell you ukuthi i-Department of Arts and Culture does not support the development of that industry because they don't even understand it. And kukhona into esinayo manje in government where we just appoint people because they wearing the right suit, noma unomkhabo right, or indlebe zakhe zinkulu, or they are with the right family. We don't put people in charge that are actually going to benefit that institution. And what it does is it makes us look as though masiyiphethe we can't run ourselves and we still need abelungu ukuthi barane izinto. And I hate to say it, sometimes it plays out even when we run our own small organizations, when we run our own small businesses. Sivele sibe disorganized ngale ndlela xa kusathana. Why are we so disorganized masiyiphethe? Why do we always have to keep comparing ourselves ukuthi hey amandi yenza kanjena benza kangcono abelungu benza kanje benza kangcono? I hate doing that. But for basic things mfethu makuthi unikezwe imali yokuthi urane a municipality and you meant to provide basic services for abantu abamnyama, it's embarrassing to me ukuthi ungadla 25 million, you don't even leave 15 to do the basic job that you are meant to do. That doesn't make sense to me. It shows me ukuthi awuphilile kahle khanda, awuphelele khanda, and there's something that's wrong with you. Another thing which is a problem to me is South Africa, I think, is the worst place to do business and really doesn't support entrepreneurship. Yet they claim that they are the one country that wants to resolve the issue of unemployment. We resolve the issue of unemployment when you still have all mama betu abadai sama fruits on the road being arrested by Metro Police in the new South Africa. Leonto, are you proud of it, or is it something that makes sense to you? Where does government take the courage nesibindi to back our policies that make us do that on the streets? Because you don't do that in the white communities, you don't do that in the Indian communities. But when Metro Police are walking around in the streets, who are they arresting? They're not arresting colored people, they're not arresting Indian people, they're not arresting white people, they're arresting black people in a black-led government. Ayikho into engicika more than that. Ayikho into engicika more than when we present ourselves as stupid people who do not think. And I know ukuthi that does not represent the intelligentsia of our people. There are many brilliant people out there. There are many brilliant people who are working in different spaces. You can just Google it and see. Baningi abantu who represent us very well. But at government level, we really need to ask the question ukuthi abantu abamnyama banenkinga yini yokuphatha? Do they really have a problem of being organized? Because I'm beginning to suspect that. You see, Mabugi ANC and the way they run, kukhona into ekhona that is very, very disorganized. Aside from ukulotha, aside from ukudlimali, aside from corruption, there's something that lacks ukuba organized, and I'm beginning to wonder, is it a black thing, yes or no? It's a painful question for me to ask because I'm so pro-black. I'm so pro-abantu bami. But I get so embarrassed, and the reason why I get so embarrassed is because ayicindezele ezinye inhlanga, icindezela thina, and it's being done by our own people. And I want to ask the ANC government, are you guys proud of looking like you are embarrassing fools who are so disorganized? Does it make you proud? Department of Arts and Culture nje, case in point, yini leyo nto? Abantu enibaniki funding nibanikelani? Why do you give people who are incompetent the funding to run things that do not, one, make sense, and secondly, do not do the job that is actually supposed to be done? I-thinking isikhona yini in your mind? Isakhona yini thinking emqondweni wenu? Bafethu ngitshele in the comment section what you think. Mina, this country has really reached a point for me where I'm beginning to question the black politicians. Are they inferior? Were they inferior on an organizational level compared to the apartheid regime? Because we can blame the apartheid regime, but one thing we can be sure about is that they were organized. There was running water, there was food, and people were being paid minimum wage. The country was being run. Now, if you want to debate that, it's up to you. But if you look at local government, there's something disorganized about the way that they do things. And I'm beginning to